Alright guys, just like the video said, this is my 2-year Mustang review. If you're new to the channel, just now watching this, my name's Craig. Sorry for the loud noises, I'm outside and I'll get to that in just a second. But, like it said, 2-year ownership review of a 2015 Mustang GT. Any 2015 to 2017 Mustang GT, because they're pretty much all the same. And my year-end review is gonna just be covering the basis of, I guess, is it worth it? Should you get one? Do I recommend it? I'm walking. We'll get to that part in a minute. As you saw, I got a little something. It's been a hell of a week, hell of a month, hell of a freaking year for a lot more people than just myself. So with Thanksgiving just passing by, I'll just say that that's one thing I am thankful for, and will continue to be thankful for, is that I'm still here and still kicking. So while it's quiet, I'll take advantage of this. So, is owning a newer Mustang fun? Yes. Okay, I'm going to elaborate more, but yes. Is it really worth getting? That depends. If you're just trying to make a fast car and you want to make it faster and you have the money for it, you have money saved up, and you can just dump money into it, yes. I recommend getting any vehicle, really, that's supposed to be fast. A Mustang, yes, go ahead and do it. I will say it's definitely worth it if you decide to keep it stock. If you do not plan on doing anything to it, it can still be a really fun vehicle, really reliable vehicle. So yes, I recommend it. If you are like me, an average everyday dude who doesn't just save up and have a savings fund set aside just for his vehicle, no. I have put more money into this vehicle. I could have probably bought about 3 vehicles, used, older, more reliable. Once you start getting into the habit of adding on, you really have to understand what you're getting into, and the more and more you add, the more and more problems can happen. Period. You see my previous videos and you already know my advice is make sure you save up, you have the money, you get it right, done right, and you do it right the first time. I just realized that whole thing was filmed the other way, and I hate the way that Apple updated these damn phones. Anyway, there's not a whole lot I can actually say. These things are fast. You're gonna mod them, really, unless, like I said, you want to dump money into it. Focus on the exhaust, and that's about it. Headers still be a pain in the ass. I didn't really start having major back-to-back problems until the headers were installed a year ago. If I went back in time, listened to the first guy that gave me advice, and took it to the shop I'm currently at, so I wouldn't have had to go through all this 3 times. All right, so I'm at home and I want to continue this video here so you can actually hear what I have to say. Okay, going back into it, do I recommend to anyone getting a 2015 and up Mustang GT? I can't speak for an 18 and up, I can speak for 15 through 17. And I can say Maybe it was just my car, but it was not really what I expected. But I came from pretty much mostly Honda. I tried to get into JDM build. That's really what I traded my Mustang in with, was my 2006 Civic Si, which was quick. I got it to be quick. It was not a fast vehicle. You really have to do a lot to make these cars a fast vehicle, but I'll definitely say it was quick. But I've never felt real, raw, big horsepower before, so I decided, you know what I really want to do is get a muscle car, American muscle. That's kind of what I grew up on. My mom had a Camaro when I grew up. My dad had, I believe, a '63 Malibu SS with the Corvette. I believe it was a '68 Corvette. I don't know. I got to really go back and see exactly what build that was, which eventually that vehicle may come into my hands, but for now, I needed my own. And decided at the time that I wanted a Challenger. So I always really liked those. I really liked the way it looked. I really loved the whole classic feel to what the cars were coming into around this time, the mid 2000s to now. And I like how the Challenger kind of kept that classic look, while the Charger was kind of just evolving into its own thing at the time. My second would have been a Camaro, and then third would have been a Mustang. I eventually went with a Mustang just because it was the cheaper route to go. You could find a super cheap Mustang that's a lot newer than a Camaro, and especially a Dodge. So that's the route I went. Almost bought a 2014 GT, red. It looked just like my neighbors here in my apartment complex. And honestly, seeing his car, his GT, is what made me really want to lean more towards getting a GT and be fine with getting a Mustang, even though it was originally my third pick. Got into that one. It had a Boss 302 manifold already. It was already lowered. It already had aftermarket rims. It actually seemed like the right thing to do and to go with, even though it had a really crappy cold air intake. I don't know why, but it was looks like something you can just pick up at AutoZone or build yourself. So I didn't go with that one. They only offered me like $500 for my SI, which is ridiculous. I mean, it was perfect. There was nothing wrong with it. Those things resale value are way better than $500. I had to really squeeze $1,500, and that was the minimum I told them I would take. So I found a 2015, this one, competition orange, automatic, and I was like, well, it's a newer body style. First vehicle I had to drive to Austin, so it's an hour and a half drive, then drove halfway down to just north of New Braunfels, which is 45 minutes back, and looked at the orange car and immediately liked it. I like the interior a lot better. Now I will say the power that the 2014 with the 302 intake had pretty much equaled exactly what the stock 2015 had. So I went with it, but at the same time, like I said, the disappointment is that I've always thought that, oh man, this is going to be 400 horsepower or close to it, I knew there was a slight difference between wheel and crank, but man, I thought it was just going to throw me in my seat a little bit more. I thought it was going to do something, and I never, ever, ever felt that with a Mustang. Not with this one. But yet I'll see other people in videos, and they'll, punch it, throw it back, and they're naturally aspirated, and they're not, I just don't see that. So, long story short, I only had the vehicle stock for about 4 months before I decided to put a 2018 manifold, JLT cold air intake, which is huge intake, and a tune. There lies my first problem. Went with the wrong tuner the first time. It goes back to my other comment, if you do it right the first time, yeah, you'll probably love it. Spend the money to do it right the first time. Don't go cheap with a tuner. Don't go cheap with parts. Try to get new every single time. That's exactly what I'm doing. Really, if I'm going to buy cheap, it's because I'm finding somebody who no longer needs it. Case in point, today I ended up finding a Cook's, brand new, never used, never installed, mid-pipe and X-pipe. So this is going to now replace the setup I have, which is just a piecemeal of pipes, MBRP, and 2M. So nothing really fits together right. So I need to redo the entire exhaust system again. Again, if I did it right the first time, saved up, got a good exhaust, wouldn't have this problem I'm going through right now. It's really hard to say, is it worth it? If I went back in time, maybe yes, I would have got this vehicle. Yes, I probably would have loved the Mustang if I kept it stock and just modified the exhaust like I had it. Everything would probably be great, dandy. This video probably would have went a different direction, or I may not even been making videos because I wouldn't have been doing anything with my car. So my 2-year review would be, if you are looking for an American muscle car, best bang for your buck is always going to be a Mustang. Just go for it, period. Screw with the memes and what all the other people say about them. It's definitely worth it. If you're not looking to spend a lot on repair and all that stuff, don't get American muscle. Stick to, you know, your Japanese vehicles and all that stuff, and have a ricer and all that stuff, and, you know, maybe you'll be happy in the JDM world, as long as you're not putting dumb, cheap eBay mods on. That's really it. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. 2 years and I spent more money than I needed to. That's the part that I regret. Not necessarily owning the Mustang, but doing what I've done to it. And it's really hard to own one without doing what you want to do to it. And I still don't have that pull in the back of your seat feel. So really what I would do at this point in time is just finish my build, pay it off, let it be mine, wait for a while, like a few months, and then go and get like a blower and put that on there, and then finally get the push to the back of my seat feel that I've always wanted. That's pretty much going to be it. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's been a while. I need to really put something out, but it's been around that time where, yes, I've had the vehicle for about 2 years. So I see everybody else doing these 2-year reviews, or 1-year review, 3-year review, 5-year review, yada, 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 so on and so forth. This is a 2-year review of a modded FBO Mustang. Was it worth actually getting the FBO? No, not in my opinion, but it was also not worth not doing my research. So I'll leave it at that. If you really, really, really want to figure out if a Mustang's right for you or not, I go research the difference, premium pack, make sure you get the exact package you want. I went with the base model, didn't know the difference until actually I got it. That's another thing I regret, is getting a base model. I have no drive modes, I have no launch control, I have none of that, but also I have automatic, so it's whatever. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. That's my 2-year review. Yay or nay? I'd still say right here. Let's see what happens this time next year, and if I've actually improved the drivability and the fun overall aspect of my vehicle. And let's see if we get it up and running. Also, touching base on why I was walking earlier, my O2 sensors are out again. They went out the first time, switched to 93 octane on my tune, and that seemed to have fixed it for about a week. And now it's giving me all kinds of codes. So if it wasn't raining, I would have fixed it today. So let's see if tomorrow, if it's going to be raining, and we'll probably even throw in a video on that one if it's not, and see if we can get those O2 sensors replaced, and see if that fixes the problem. Anyway, thanks guys for tuning in. Subscribe if you want, see what's going on, keep up with the channel. Like, you know, if you found this helpful. Thanks guys, peace.